where we curate a transparent and a safe space for women who are deciding to walk with intention. We thank you guys for joining us. Relax, grab your wine, and let's chat, ladies. Hello, besties. Welcome back. We're so glad that you are back with us again today.
Hi guys, welcome back.
We just want to say thank you guys for being with us again this week. I think we have some exciting news. We've hit some major milestones on the podcast. For the first three episodes, we are over 600 listeners, and I just want to say from the both of us, we're so thankful and grateful that you guys are here with us on this journey, and we cannot wait to talk to you again in this episode.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like they said, we reached a huge milestone. Thank you guys. Continue to tune in. This week we will be talking to you guys about facing challenges. We are ending our three-part series of navigating life, and just to end it, we feel like it's necessary that we talk about facing challenges because we all know that challenges are inevitable, and we them each and every day. And I feel like it's important to have that right mindset and approach when facing challenges that are sometimes a tad bit large. But before we get into the episode, Des, how was your week? How was your weekend?
It was good, sis. This past weekend I did visit Louisiana. Was able to catch up with family and friends. The past week, I think the most exciting thing was we were like doing stuff in the backyard, fixing it up for the summertime. Like I like decorating and home improvement projects, so that has been exciting. What about you, sis? What did you do this weekend or last week?
You came to Louisiana this weekend, so yeah, we hung out on Friday night. Um, I'm just gonna leave it at that. But Saturday, I was so sluggish, and then Sunday, I started back on like shift rotation. So
Oh yeah.
Sunday, yeah. So I worked last night actually, and then now today, I mean, I got off from work this morning, but it was my first time working a night shift in over a year or so.
Mm-hmm.
So my ride home was not the best ride home, but I went straight to the gym, got a good workout in, and I'm about ready to go to sleep because I am rolling off of about 2 hours of sleep, give or take. So yeah,
Jeez. Did you
it's
fall asleep driving home?
it was one of those where I'm trying to sing loud. I keep readjusting. I'm like, oh my god, I just need to get off this road. And all I could think about was this safe start class that I just took, and it was like 90% of the access percent of accidents that happen
Mhm.
away from work. And it's like doing the things that we always do. And it had this lady that like had a testimony and fell asleep behind the wheel, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to pull over. So when I got to the gym, I actually went to sleep for like an hour before going into the building. It was a struggle, but I'm glad to be off today and off tomorrow.
That is a good. Are you ready to face this new month of May?
I am ready to face the new month of May. I just feel like every single time May rolls around, like May brings in like the best energy.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I get energized. But I need to do my last month's reflection, and I'm glad you said that earlier because it's not too late. I'm gonna still do it. I'm gonna do it today, actually, probably right when we jump off this pod. But I'm excited about May.
Yes, I am too. Um, I haven't reflected either, and that's not normal because I usually reflect like the last few days of like the previous month
Yeah,
and set new goals. But I mean, we aren't too late. We're gonna get it done. But I'm excited because it's summertime. I feel like we're getting the pool ready for some pool parties and just being like outside enjoying like
yeah.
life is exciting. So I'm excited. Are
I'm excited
you
too.
are you ready to jump into what the girls came for?
Let's give it to them. Let's give it to them. 18 challenges. Let's give it to them.
um, we're gonna go ahead and give it to you guys. So I think it's just important to know that life is full of ups and downs, And one day we may feel like we have it all figured out. And then the next moment, it's like you've been thrown a curveball and your life is upside down. And we want you guys to know that you're not alone when you feel this because we face it all the time. And everyone has their own set of challenges in life. And like, I think the most important thing to do is like learning how to overcome those challenges and how to face them so you can stay centered and remain calm under pressure. And for this episode, we just really hope to give you what we use to give us a peace of mind when we face our challenges. And like Yas said earlier, like challenges are inevitable.
Yeah.
Um, they will arise in everyday life. Like we face challenges every day, and we have to learn how to face them and move forward. We can fight them, or we can just let them take us over. Either way, they have to be overcome. And do you want to talk a little bit about how you face your challenges or how you feel?
Yeah, before I get in, I guess before I even get into facing my challenges, I want to like put a name on some of those challenges that I have faced. I guess we can get into like recent challenges, but like I feel like one of the greatest challenges that I have faced um to date is around the time um that I was trying to transition from college, well, grad school, and then working because I was on a completely different path. And that was super challenging and super scary because oftentimes I feel like a challenge presents itself when there's change. Like
Right.
when change is inevitable, like a challenge will be there for you to face. So yeah, like I said, coming out of undergrad and then going to grad school, I still had the every intention of going to medical school, right?
Right.
So after grad school, I immediately started working in a chemical lab. Um, but I still was going on medical school interviews, right?
Right.
Um, but that entire time was kind of weird for me because like I just was not feeling it. And I felt like I was trying to force something because I had to. Um, and so that fear of like letting go of something that I had been working toward the entire time was super challenging because it's like, what does life look like on the opposite side of me letting go of this thing that I'm pursuing, right? Which was medical
Right.
school. And then I do it, right? And I stay in the chemical plant or whatever like that. And then Corona comes.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that whole time I felt like I was overperforming anyways. Like once I got there, like they give you like 6 months to train on a job, whatever like that. I'm knocking the jobs down in like 2 months per se. Corona
Right.
comes and they're like, you have to stop training because you can't be um like close to anyone, right? So my trainer couldn't train me any longer. So I was stuck in this like one position in the lab. Then so that was like March when that happened, and then come July, I get laid off.
Uh huh.
And I'm like, so like for me, I was taken aback and I took it really, really, like really hard because I was like, I'm doing all of these things right. Like I've been doing everything right. I come to work on time. I do this, whatever. But that completely changed my mindset of just, it was challenging at the time, but I'm so grateful for it because it changed my mindset of like never depending on a job ever again because you can be doing everything right. But at the end of the day, you have no say so, you have no ownership in the company that you work for. So um, during that challenging time, and not to ramble, but like just to hurry up and get this out, but during that challenging time, like mindset, like what do you do now that you've had to pivot, right? What do you do now
Right.
that you have to pivot? And I feel like that's when Yas Trek really was born because I had to start looking inside of me and like finding my gifts and keening in on my purpose and put aside that fear before I ever allow myself to be in that type of situation again. Even though I have a job today is late, I know that
Mhm.
100% okay without my job. And I love this job even more than the last. But it's like, you get what I'm saying? So it really changed my mindset of never let this happen again,
Right.
for sure. And just if I'm faced with something like that again, then I know what attitude to have. Don't have a helpless attitude. Like I feel like you never can get over a challenge if you have a helpless attitude, and that's what I took initially, and
Mm-hmm.
that was scary. Like I was scaring myself. Like, and it took me a while to get out of that hole though. Like I'm like I had to start checking myself basically. Like why you feel so comfortable being dependent on, you know what I'm saying? But yes, it's
Right. No, I really do feel that. Like, and I think it's important. 'Cause I'll show my biggest challenge later, but I feel like challenges are never easy. And these days, especially like with coronavirus happening, we face so many challenges. Like either if it's at work or at home, in relationships, we have challenges with money, family, just
yeah,
in the world, and like just so much more. And like you said, like mindset is a big thing, so like what you think really becomes your reality, and like training your mind to think positively and not in like a phony way, like oh like fake it, um but you know, having that positive mindset and positive energy, it's really like important. And I know it takes time and practice to get to that mindset, but like you said, it begins with like mental awareness. Like, you know, you have to become aware of what's going on. And with those challenges, we either do two things, like we either face them or like go the opposite way from them. And sometimes we like avoid dealing with those things. And like just learning to like deal with them is like kind of hard. So I think the first thing we have to do is like acknowledge it. Like you said, like you acknowledge the fact that things were changing, and um, you dealt with your feelings about them. And I guess like just on any path of life, like you have to grow, and your success, you know, there in order to get to success, you will face some type of challenges, I guess.
yeah,
You learn from those lessons, from those challenges, those failures, making mistakes. Um, and challenges can be like a very amazing learning experience. And like you said, you were able to dig deeper in yourself and like really give Yash Trek, or bring it to life because you had to face that challenge. Um, so for me, I guess my challenge was around the same time of coronavirus. It was it should have been like the happiest time of my life. Like I was finally graduating pharmacy school.
yeah,
I was finishing up with rotations. Like literally, so that was in March. March, like Corona like hit big or whatever.
yeah,
So like our rotations weren't in person anymore. It was like all online. Um, Graduation didn't happen. I was severely like depressed. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I worked so hard.
yeah,
Um, and I can't even walk across the stage. Like it just was like I don't even know how to describe it. Like it was just a bad or a hard feeling for me. And then May I got engaged and I moved to Texas. Like all of this like big life changes happened. I was about to do pharmacy residency that I had kicked ass to get into. Um, and I guess all these challenges are these things presented themselves. And I guess for me, I wasn't in tune with self, so all these changes were like very, very hard for me. And I think for me, what I got out of the situation, because I always like look back and see like, hey, what did I learn from all these changes? How can I deal with them better? And that's when like my whole like self care journey started. I even seeked out like resources, like so I got a therapist finally. Like I knew it was important to get a therapist, but I never got a therapist until like I feel like my life started crashing. So I got a therapist, and I still talk to her until this day. Like, and I just feel like it's just so important to get resources and, you know, use your help or get help
yeah,
when you need it. Um, but I was saying all that to say, like, that was one of the biggest challenges in my life, and I didn't think I was gonna overcome it. Like, I didn't even know how. Um, but kind of like for you, for Yash Trek, that's when like my self care or you know my mindset journey started. Like, digging deeper into myself and seeing that, okay, I don't even need this residency to get to where I want to be at in life. Like, my values have changed. I want to spend more time at home. I wanted to like really dive into, just self care, blogging, and all that kind of stuff. And so that's when I discovered that. So, like, even though that was the biggest challenge in my life, I was able to pivot kind of like you did and focus my attention on something else. So, I definitely agree with that. Um, like,
That's,
challenges can be a learning experience
yeah,
and really force you to grow and change.
and that's a good point that you made as well about what came on the other side of you tackling that challenge, because I feel like oftentimes when a challenge arises, it's because something bigger is on the other side, and I think that's why it's so important to have the right mindset as well, because
Mm-hmm.
when you have that mindset of knowing like God has something bigger on the other side
Right.
of for me, it becomes easier for you to, you might not even necessarily know how to go about tackling this challenge or getting over this hurdle, but you do know that once you get on the other side of it, the grass is definitely greener. Because if I have to look at all the times that I have been faced with challenges or whatever like that,
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm not in that place anymore. You feel me? Like we're
Right.
never in that place anymore, and we usually off better for it. So that's a big thing to remember when you're trying to have the right mindset, as far as not feeling helpless when
Right.
facing challenges, and understand that we can pivot, and we can pivot and still be on the same path, as far as like our destiny and our purpose. So just remembering those things is really key, and I'm glad to hear that you got a therapist. I never had a therapist before, but I know that, like, I believe that they work. How what like I always wonder like what that first session looks like. Like,
I mean, for me, it was like kind of just talking about what was on my mind, literally. Like, I mean, at this point, you can be my therapist. But it was like talking about what was on my mind and like what weighed heavily on my mind.
mm-hmm.
And then, like, for us, it was like, so how does this make you feel? Why does it make you feel like that? And that made me dig a little bit deeper. Like,
Yeah,
wait, why does it make me feel like I'm not in control? Why does it feel like,
I guess
what was
having
the
someone really ask you those questions.
yeah, and I feel like I wasn't being asked those questions or like, oh, you can do it. Like,
Yeah,
like,
it's
yeah, everybody's going through it. It's okay, push it off.
yeah,
But no one was asking me why did I feel like that or digging deeper to the root cause. And like, I discovered so much stuff. Like, I would brush off. I'm like, oh no, it's not bothering me. But in
right,
reality, like, it
get
was
it.
it was bothering me and it would come up or whatever. So after dealing with all of that, it's like, okay, yeah, like, I didn't know I felt some type of way about whatever it is,
Certain things,
um, because nobody ever asked me, or I never asked myself.
and that's a good one too. We don't ask ourselves these questions.
I
Um,
I, I didn't ask myself. But even now, it's just having that non-biased person that's not in my life, just to continuously check on me. And it's not even weekly therapy anymore. It's mostly like once a month, just to check in, just to say like, hey, how you doing? Like, what's your plan? Like, just someone that keeps me on track, just to make sure I'm well. And I feel like she's one of my resources that I use if I ever need to talk to someone that's non-biased.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, she was good, and I think that's important. Like, if you feel that you don't have someone that you can talk to about a situation, seek help or seek someone else to talk to that's non-biased and that can give you some good advice. Um, Important resources are there for a
yeah.
reason, so use them.
Yeah, and we actually should have said that last episode when talking about battling insecurities and
Yeah.
overpowering insecurities. But as that said, it is important to um, reach out to someone or utilize the resources around you when you are feeling completely overwhelmed with the things that you are facing. But that's you had. So you said you like all of those new things happen, all of those new changes happen, and
Mm-hmm.
um that help you discover like or start your self-care journey and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
we do know that, like we said, challenges are inevitable. So what are some of the challenges that you face now, even after like that huge hurdle? Like what are some of the subtle things, like your everyday or day-to-day challenges that you face that someone else may face as well?
Yeah. I feel like one of the biggest things is discipline. I I don't even know, like, just being very disciplined on, like,
Yeah.
my fitness journey, and I don't even know why. Um I don't say I don't know why, but I face this often, like just staying in routine,
Yeah.
to working out or closing my rings. Sometimes I get too complacent. Like, oh no, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So I learned that I had to work out in the morning time. So working out in the evening, I'm like, I had a long day. Like I make excuses, and I noticed that I did that. Another thing that I did was I had a gym membership, and my excuse was, oh, I don't feel like driving to the gym today.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I was Cameron and I came together and like turned our garage into like a little home gym.
Hmm.
So I can't have that excuse like, oh, I can't work out. I don't feel like driving or whatever. So I feel like discipline is one of the biggest things I face. And then another thing that's very common is fear. Like I don't know, like fear about a situation. Um, I
Hmm.
think for me it's like it can be so easy for me to think so small, because of the fear of failure, like even when it's time to make a big decision. But to accomplish like good things or great things in life, you have to like be open to taking risk, and sometimes like I'm
Yeah.
not that open to taking those risks. And I feel like, for me is like whatever challenges may arrive, I have to like think big and dream big. That way I can achieve more, that I ever imagined. And another thing was like being a Christian, I had to like learn that life will come with challenges and battles, but I know that God will get me through them. He's going to
Hmm.
give me the resources that I need. And once like I really like trained my mind or like drilled that in, like God's gonna provide because He's my source. I feel like I'm able to tackle more things and just be a little bit more grateful for what I have. But that was a long answer. But that's,
No, that's
I guess,
yeah,
like discipline, fear, and like just being like knowing my source. It
that's
helps me get out of that.
yeah,
But do you feel like you face like everyday challenges, or what are they?
I do. And discipline is definitely like the top one. I mean, I guess because like you said, like when you build a routine and stuff like that, so like the one day that I do fall off, I kind of like let everything unravel a little bit, but I'm getting better at it to where like, okay,
Hmm.
so if I fell off today, um, start like why can't I just pick back up again tomorrow? But I wish I was more disciplined. And like right now, I feel like I'm struggling because it's getting hot and I'm around a lot of families and a lot of yard gatherings because it's summertime. Um,
Right.
like my diet right now is not the way it usually is.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
But I think
discipline
that.
or as far as but I don't know, like it's crazy because like I sit and talk about Yas Trek and stuff like that, and it's like it just Yas Trek reminded me recently that like it doesn't matter where you are or how far you get, like challenges will arise. And I've
Yes.
been telling you about this vendor that so basically I ordered samples from a vendor or
Mhm.
whatever that I trusted, and the samples were like the best quality, fell in love with them, whatever, took
Mhm.
pre-orders, made this huge purchase from this vendor, and then like some of the sets are the same, like great quality, and then some of the sets were like ridiculous, like to the point where I would never put Yastrek on it.
Uh,
So like that I had to like make a decision. I was like really torn about it at first, like for real, like it was eating me up, the fact that like
right.
I can't put my brand on this. But Yeah, so it's, I feel like you always gonna have a decision to make. Things will never go perfectly. You always gonna hit those potholes. It's just about the way, because like once I like realized, like I really had to take a step back that day because I was really really upset, and I just
Yeah.
had to take a step back that day and was like, God put you in this position for a reason, or like God is teaching you something. And like a lot of times I know, I don't know, you know I believe in God, and so a lot of times that's the quickest way for me to like jump over a hurdle, is just to, like you said, remind myself of source. Um,
Yes.
yeah, so I'm about to just put out the gear that I can and then refund for the others, which is it. You get what I'm saying? It's like, but it's not my. Sometimes things are really out of your hands. Like,
Right.
you feel me? Sometimes things are really out of your hands, and I'm learning that being a business owner, and having to work with third parties and such, that as much as I would like everything to be in my control, just sometimes it isn't, and I just have to like just chuck
Like
some
accept
stuff
it.
up. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes you just have to take your L, and it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. I
But
think
yeah,
that's a really good point. And I feel like when you said like you sometimes you have to take your L, you have to accept it. And sometimes we just have to really appreciate it and recognize that we can't change everything. Like some stuff is not in our control. But I think like that kind of brings us to the point of some things that we can appreciate when things get tough and rough. Like we have to know that challenges often give us valuable feedback for ourselves and like who we are. And it also allows us to wake up and like notice all the good things that were happening that we weren't paying close attention to. Like
right.
when we face a challenge, like, oh man, I actually was living a good life before this challenge came up, but I didn't accept it and I didn't like, acknowledge it.
Yeah,
And then like 'cause I don't even know why this wasn't really a challenge, but like one day like I hurt, like I think I slammed my finger in the door and I'm like, man, like I didn't realize and this sounds crazy, but I didn't realize how it feels, or I didn't appreciate how it feels for my finger not to hurt. But now
right,
that it's hurting, I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to get like my normal feeling back.
right.
And it's just small things like that. It's like I just need to appreciate even the smallest things.
Yeah,
But I think like that's the beauty of a challenge. Like you get to appreciate it and see things from the other side, like you said earlier. And then just in general, like learning and growing from them, um, and just making improvements in your life. And
yeah,
I don't want it to sound like, oh yeah, just get over this challenge. It's gonna be so easy because it's not. Like
yeah,
challenges are difficult to deal with, but I think the key is once you do face it, really learn from it, um, and
yeah.
just find something to take away from it. Do you agree?
I do agree, and that goes back to what you said earlier about basically you said fight or flight. Like
Mm-hmm.
when a challenge arises, will you fight or will you flight? And one thing I can say and testify to is that every single time that I've chosen to like flight and just haul ass,
Mm-hmm.
that challenge repeats. Like it may not look the same, but it is the same challenge. Like it will
Right.
continue to cycle in my life. And then the moment that I find some courage and fight and get over it, and then learn from what I just experienced and make a note and become choose to be more self-aware, when that situation presents itself again, um, then I can move forward. And I may be moving forward to another challenge, but at least I won't go insane trying to do the same thing over
Same
and over
thing.
that
Right.
that one challenge.
Right.
So I do agree. Um, yeah, that was a really really good point.
Yeah. Um, and so I guess we're gonna like kind of wrap it up right now, but we just want you guys to know that once you learn how to deal with the challenge, it does take time, it takes persistence, and it does take a positive attitude. Like no matter what the situation is, like life is gonna be hard and life will happen. Like change and
Yeah,
challenges are like inevitable. But with the right mindset and like practice, you will be able to overcome those things every time, like Yash just said. and just grow in the process. And so like I feel like for some takeaway points, at least from my end, on what I do, when I'm faced with these everyday challenges or big life challenges in general, is the first thing is just to accept it and let go, like let go of the situation. I have to accept like where I am now and what I have, and just know that this is my life at this time. It is temporary, but accepting it will help me get rid of that stress, that anxiety, and that fear. And particularly for me, like I like to meditate, I like to do yoga, and that way I have like a quiet time where I can actually accept these thoughts. And that's my best way of practicing acceptance. Like, cause I'm by myself. Like, all I have is myself in my mind at this time. So I have to accept it and let it go. And then I think another important thing for me is observing and then deciding what to do with it after. So, like, when I face a particular challenge, like, I have to take a step away from my feelings to like make a plan. And like I said, it's important
Yeah.
to know your feelings, but I don't want my feelings to really determine how I act. So I try to be objective as possible because sometimes when I'm feeling a certain way, I may act out, you know?
Yeah.
um, but if I like take a step back and just try to like think of a objective plan, that works well for me. And earlier I said like I have a bad habit of like trying to or letting fear get in my way. So I have to face those fears and then act upon them. So like taking action um, in those just overcoming challenges in general. It's likely what I'm facing is a fear of mine, but once I learn how to deal with that underlying fear and like identify that fear, then I can act to like eliminate that fear, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then my last thing I probably would say is like practicing gratitude. Like I know we have that 5 minute journal where in the morning time I get to like have my affirmations and write down what I'm grateful for. And ultimately, like for me that means like just being grateful for the things that I do have. Like I was talking about my finger earlier. Like I'm grateful for those small things like of my limbs feeling well today. I don't even know. But when we tend to exist in like our comfort zone so much that we don't think outside of the small things. So like whatever's happened or whatever we're presented with, it feels like it's just so hard to overcome. But when we practice gratitude, we can reframe our definitions of challenges and just be happier all around in the present moment. Um, but like I said, challenges aren't like easy, and we don't want to make it seem like it's easy, like, oh, a piece of cake, just get over it. We
No.
just have to face those challenges and like make a plan on how to get better. Use resources if that's what you need. It's okay to get help if you can't face them alone. Ask your close friends, your family, that support group that keeps you grounded, um, for help. And whatever it is, just know that it will get better. It's life. Everyone faces challenges. You aren't alone, and you never will be.
I
So
agree.
that's my spill on it.
Um, that was really, really, really great points. I guess just to add, um, some things that I do initially is one, adjust my attitude because my attitude can get the best of me. I will annoy myself sometimes with just like how much I can complain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, number one is to adjust my attitude and understand that I'm not helpless or that life is not perfect. So, yes, sometimes a challenge or two may arise, Yasmin. It's okay. Like,
Yeah.
like adjust my attitude and then to immediately make the whatever is in front of me, I try to minimize it, like make it smaller, even if it's
Mm-hmm.
something that's like really serious. But I will try to minimize it and make it smaller and understand that like I am bigger than this thing that I am facing. And
Right.
you know what I'm saying? And that goes back to being grateful as well and expressing gratitude for where you are in life and just everything. And then it kind of like minimizes the challenge. Like I'm able to breathe. So yeah, attitude, and then immediately make your challenge smaller than what it is. Don't give it too much of your energy, or should I say, meaningless energy or
Right.
feelings. And then you're able to come up with a plan. How do I tackle this? How do I pivot from this? And what am I aiming for? Like tackling this challenge brings me what? Because if you know what's on the other side, then you won't just like ignore the challenge because you know that it needs to be done in order for you to continue to be the person that you are or continue to go in the place that you are trying to go and occupy the space that you're trying to occupy. So yeah, that's my very small takeaway because I feel like you handled that really well. That's it. So now that we have gave the girls a little bit about overcoming and facing challenges, um, let's get into our little wind down segment.
Yes, let's get into it. Um, we're gonna jump right into it today.
I am wrong for
You
this
know,
bill.
we're gonna get right into it. I know you're tired. You worked out. I'm proud of you, sis. You did what you had to do.
Still got the.
Uh,
I try to get out the house today, tonight. I don't know.
what are you gonna do?
I will tell you off camera.
Are you gonna go skating?
I should go skating tonight though, because I haven't touched my skates in a week. But you know, the last time did touch them, I kind of like bruised my butt and my side. So I don't know. I don't know. I probably need to get some knee pads and yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Um,
I will be a professional skater by the end of the summer. Like I will be somewhat advanced. Just mark my words. Mark my words.
all right, sis. I'm here. I'm here for it. I'm here for all the new hobbies. But as always, we make time for you guys to get to know us. You guys send us some questions. And so we are excited to answer some of them. Whatever we don't get to today, we'll actually do in like a next episode or something.
Okay.
Um, and if you guys have more questions, please feel free to send them to us. We are always open.
Yeah.
For the sake of the video, we don't want to keep you guys here that long. We'll answer probably about maybe like 4 or 5. Is that cool?
Okay. 4 or 5 total, or 4 or 5 individually total, right?
Total, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Do
Are
do
you
you want
asking?
to ask me first or?
Sure. I will ask you first. I'm finding one, guys. That's why I'm like looking for the. Um.
Yeah,
Ooh. Okay, guys. So, Destiny, Mrs. Blame. What is the worst habit that you have in bed?
probably. Honestly, Cameron complains about this all the time. I get in the middle of the bed, and I still get in a fetal position, so it's like he has no room on the opposite side. So like, we have like a king bed, and like I'm in the middle, and then like I fetal, and so like this is his
Mhm.
space here. Like he has none, and it's probably my worst habit because I try to stay on my side sometimes, but I don't know, it just doesn't work.
The middle of the bed just feels better. And then you still have to like hinge and legs out. So you like this. You lay like this, sort of
Yes,
like clamped. Yeah.
yes, yes. That's what
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good question. Or sometimes I even eat in the bed, like a late night snack or something. I don't know. That's kind of
I
a
am
bad
like
habit.
the most laziest eater ever. So like eating in the bed is like definitely a thing for me. But also I literally would eat on my chest. Like I'm so lazy. Like I, don't let me get too comfortable.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I need to stop that.
The people want to know, have you ever blacked out drunk before?
Truth or drink. No, I'm just kidding. Um, I have blacked out drunk before.
I think we
I
all have.
look, I have, and I own it, and I
Yeah.
own it. It was a great night
Do you
until it
remember the
wasn't.
night? Like, do
Look,
you remember?
until it wasn't. But yeah, I have.
Okay.
Um, mm, 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 mm. Did you ever secretly learn the password to your partner's phone?
Secretly, no. I
But
haven't.
you,
No,
oh,
I've never had to ask for it. Like, okay, so when we always like get phones around the same time,
uh-huh.
and I don't know if other people do this or not, but like he will have it, especially when the face recognition thing came out. Like we'll swap phones to put our face recognition on it. So like if he picks up my
Oh,
phone and looks at his face, you know,
yeah. It
he'll
just
he'll get
automatically
in.
opens.
But even
Yeah.
before that, no, we just naturally shared passwords. So like,
Y'all been married.
no, I don't wouldn't say that, but it's just like if I need to get into his phone, I can get in, and if he needs to get into mine, he can get in. I don't think
You
I've
can
ever had
be
to
like,
secretly,
Open this phone.
huh?
I said you could just be like, Cam, open this phone.
Yeah,
I feel it.
I mean, I didn't have to secretly. I shouldn't have to
You should.
secretly find out your password. But like for us, like literally, I don't know. Okay, and another thing is we have like a logins, like page with all of our logins and stuff like that we share. So we share a lot of stuff, like Netflix, who like all that kind of stuff. And so our passwords are pretty much the same for everything.
Okay. I feel you.
Um, so yeah, if he wants to get into my email, he probably could. Like it's
Understood.
just that. So I never had to sneak, and if I did,
You
I'd
not
beat
doing
him
it.
up. I'm just joking. Um, they want to know. One of the questions was,
Girl, don't ask me nothing crazy.
"I'm not."
I'm already tired.
They asked, not me.
The best
Um,
is I'm already tired.
they said, "Do you prefer to be big spoon or little spoon?"
Big spoon all day.
Yeah, right.
I swear, only because I'm so listen. I prefer to be big spoon. Plus, I like to cuddle. Like I like to be the cuddler. But
Hmm.
only because like I'm so small. So like if someone like puts their weight on me, like I'm automatically uncomfortable. I hate being little spoon. I also would be like in my space, but I don't mind invading someone else's space.
Uh huh. Right.
But like I'm very particular about my space. So yeah, big spoon all day. Big spoon
Okay.
all day.
Girl, sit down. It just depends. For me, I think. So when I fetal, I'm always like my back is turned, so it's always like I'm the little spoon.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It just depends.
No. And yeah, I'm big spoon. That's all I can say. I'm big
You're a big
spoon.
spoon, but this big. Like
I know what I am, big spoon. I am.
you are funny.
Yeah. Do not be coming trying to crush me.
Girl, nobody
Talk
crushing you.
about cuddling me. No. Okay. Uh girl, let me not ask you another question about you and Cam.
Please don't. They
um
want to know all the relationship stuff.
I know that's why I keep trying to pick you.
Why?
Because Destiny. That's all I'm saying. Okay. What's the best date you've been on? Sorry, I had to do another relationship. I gotta get a girls what they want. Who else they gonna get this information from?
You've been on dates before.
I have been on dates before. So,
I don't know. I feel like all of our dates are pretty fun. The best one though,
boo, tomato, tomato, tomato.
I'm for real. We have a good time on our dates. We try to do date night once a week.
You want
Um,
me to tell you the best date I've been on?
yeah,
Since you're not answering the question,
because I don't have a best one. I don't
the
think.
best date that I have been on was skydiving. because that was a surprise. Like it was like, okay, we're doing this. And I was like, you know me, I'm like, let's do it. And 18,000 feet in the air.
That's crazy. A crazy date.
Yes.
Adventurous date.
Yeah, for sure.
That's good. That's good. I mean, I really don't know. I do like when Cameron does plan the dates though, and when he plans them, it's more like I don't know, thoughtful.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So any of those dates are nice.
Do you feel like the chill dates, like the dates where you guys are just like, doing what y'all do, is like the best dates? Because that's kind of like how I usually feel. Like,
Yeah.
although I do appreciate something, out of the norm every once in a while, but as far as like best dates where you just kicking it with your partner,
Yeah. Those are some of the best ones. I do agree. I guess this is gonna be the last question. Oh wait. So did you answer that?
I did answer that. So let me
Okay.
ask you. Oh, my lips look really pink.
She like that pink.
Girl, oh my God, this girl will force it. Anyways, um, what is the one thing that you love most about yourself?
There's a few things, but I think um being very open minded and just being mindful of things. I like my mind. Um
Oh,
I know I'm serious. Like I feel like open minded, just thinking logically, thinking deeper into things now. Um it helps me a lot in life. Think more wisely or be more wisely and just be more logical about things. So I think that's what I love the most. I do love a lot though. Um, I love
ask me what's the
myself.
most. Ask me what's the one thing that I love most about myself.
What is it?
My ass. It's my ass. No, I'm just kidding.
I think I'm very smart.
I think you are very smart as well. I think you are. Yeah,
Or you know I am.
I know you are as well. Yes,
Oh my gosh.
yes. Nah. On a serious note, though, yeah, I do love my ass. I'm not changing
Yeah, girl, be confident in that. You worked hard to get this.
it. Yeah, because all the other things existed before this. Like, I've been carefree. I've been smart as hell. Been funny as hell. Annoying as shit. No, I'm just kidding.
Crazy.
It's
Yeah,
that. It's the. Mm-hmm.
you worked for it. I do agree. But besties, we just want to say thank you guys again for being here with us. Um, if you guys have any comments, questions, suggestions, anything, please let us know. Comment, follow us on Facebook, Instagram. And just to wrap this all up, we just want to make sure you have some takeaways from today. Um, and a challenge for you. To make a list of the biggest challenges that you're facing right now in life. Answer these questions about them. Um, what can you appreciate the most about these difficulties? What are you learning from them? And what are you able to appreciate in yourself, in your life because of these things? And if you look for those um, things, you'll be able to appreciate things about each and every one of them. So, know that challenges are going to be hard to overcome, but you can do it. Look for resources if you need them. You can always message us. We aren't therapists, but we would love to talk to you um, and help you in those situations and tell you things that we did to overcome them if we had similar situations. And know that you are not alone. We always face these things. But as always, besties, we love you guys and we are so thankful that you guys are here with us. See you next time.